Breaking news. Cassie Ventura is now on the stand in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial.
And again, just to reiterate what is a freak off, the freak off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, wanting to watch her have sex with someone else. And she said that she did it because she was 22, 21, she was young, she didn't know any better, and that she wanted to please Sean Combs, that she wasn't in control. She said that Sean Combs directed everything from what she had on, to the lighting in the room, to how she was supposed to interact with the person that she was having sex with.
She was silent for over a decade. Now, the world can't unhear her. Cassie Ventura, once seen arm in arm with one of the most powerful men in music, has taken the stand. And what she's saying is sending shockwaves through the entertainment industry. This isn't a scandal. This isn't a headline. This is a reckoning. Her voice, long buried under fear, contracts, and control, is now front and center in a federal courtroom. And the man she once loved, Sean Diddy Combs, is now facing the most devastating allegations of his life. But this isn't just about one woman and one man. What's unfolding in court could unravel an entire culture of silence, manipulation, and unchecked power. Cassie didn't describe a relationship. She described a prison. In testimony that stunned even seasoned courtroom observers, she laid out how Diddy didn't just manage her music career, he allegedly managed her entire existence, where she went, who she spoke to, what she wore, even what she said publicly. According to her, he didn't operate like a partner. He acted like an owner, and the control wasn't subtle. She testified that she felt psychologically shackled, trapped, in a cycle of loyalty and fear. Any sense of autonomy was stripped away. Her love, she said, was used as a weapon against her. But as disturbing as that sounds, it was only the beginning. Then came the most graphic and gut-wrenching part of her testimony. Cassie revealed that Diddy orchestrated what he referred to as freak-offs, forced sexual encounters with male escorts that she says were neither consensual nor optional. According to her, these weren't just random incidents. They were scheduled, planned, and demanded. She confessed she once looked forward to them, not out of desire, but because it was the only time she felt close to him. That moment said everything. This wasn't about pleasure. It was about psychological conditioning, trauma bonding at its most devastating. What Cassie described wasn't just abuse. It was systemic dehumanization, masked as intimacy. But it wasn't just the acts themselves. It was the aftermath that lingered. Cassie painted a chilling picture of emotional blackmail, saying she was often rewarded with affection only after complying with his disturbing requests. When she hesitated or cried, she claims he would lash out, not just verbally, but physically. Threats weren't just common, they were expected, a reminder, she said, of who held the power. And when people ask why she didn't just leave, her answer is simple: because she couldn't, not emotionally, not financially, not physically. She said he had control over everything, from her bank accounts to her sense of self. This wasn't love. This was psychological warfare. For years there were whispers, quiet settlements, mysterious NDAs, anonymous claims that never saw the light of day. But now, all of that is center stage in a courtroom with no cameras, no filter, and no way to look away. Diddy, now 55, is facing charges that include sex trafficking, racketeering, and transporting individuals across state lines for illegal activities. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. And while his legal team is calling the accusations outrageous, false, and revenge-driven, the courtroom tells a different story. Cassie's words carry years of silence, pain, and repression. And in that courtroom, she isn't the background to Diddy's spotlight. She's the entire stage. But Cassie isn't alone in that courtroom. Every day this week, her husband, Alex Fine, has been sitting quietly in the back, eyes locked on the woman he married, the mother of his children, as she details the darkest moments of her past. He hasn't posted a single quote online. No dramatic statements to the press. Just presence. Quiet. Steady. Powerful. That silence has become its own form of protest. On Tuesday, Diddy's legal team tried to have him removed from the courtroom altogether. Their reasoning? He might be a future witness. But to many watching, it was a tactical move, an attempt to strip Cassie of emotional reinforcement during her most vulnerable moments. The court eventually ruled that Alex could stay, at least for the portions of the testimony that didn't directly involve him. And while he may have to leave at certain moments, his message is already loud and clear. To the defense, his presence is a liability. Why? Because it humanizes her. Because it reminds the jury that she's not just some distant figure on a witness stand. She's a wife, a mother, a survivor. Every time she breaks down, he's there. Every time she gathers herself to continue, he's still there. And that consistency, it's more threatening than any outburst. It's not about what he says, it's about what he symbolizes. A counter-image to the past she's describing. A reminder that real love doesn't come with strings, contracts, or fear. It comes with protection, stability, peace. For the jury, that image may linger longer than any legal argument. Outside the courtroom, the world is listening and reacting. Social media is flooded with messages of support. Survivors are sharing their own stories, emboldened by Cassie's decision to speak up. Mental health professionals are unpacking the psychological tactics she described: coercive control, trauma bonding, emotional manipulation. This trial has become more than a legal case. It's a cultural rupture. For decades, the entertainment industry has operated with an unspoken rule: protect the powerful. But now, that veil is slipping. The court transcripts are public, the stories are real, and the public is no longer content to look the other way. Even those who once stayed silent, industry insiders, former associates, are beginning to speak out. There's a shift in the atmosphere, a long overdue confrontation with what's been allowed to fester behind closed doors. Cassie Ventura is no longer the woman we saw smiling on red carpets beside a man with global influence. She's no longer a footnote in someone else's legacy. She's reclaiming her own, and she's not doing it alone. Alex Fine, with his silent presence, has become a symbol of what support should look like. Not performative, not strategic, just real. Just there. For Cassie, that might be the most powerful part of all this, not just reclaiming her voice, but being heard, believed, and protected while doing it. This trial could end in any number of ways. Diddy may walk free, he may face prison, but regardless of the outcome, one thing is clear: the silence is broken. What started as one woman's truth is now reshaping how we understand fame, power, and accountability. And while the headlines may scream sex trafficking and racketeering, the heart of this story is deeply human. It's about survival, about healing, and about what happens when a woman refuses to stay in the shadows one moment longer. Cassie's voice is shaking, an empire, and for the first time in a long time, the world isn't looking away.